You are not everyone's cup of tea because, baby, you are their ayahuasca. When you meet other people, you face them with their darkness so that they can elevate themselves to their light. You invite them to become the best version of themselves. You bridge the gap between where they are and where they wish to be. When you show up in someone's reality, they are invited to become better. Now, not everyone is going to want to take you up on that invitation. Not everyone is ready to become better. Because realistically, we all can make the decision to better ourselves. So why don't we all do it? Not everyone wants to. Some people rather play in lower vibrational states, realms. They rather be comfortable than get everything they want. That's not a reflection of you. That's their free will. This past weekend, while I was visiting New York, I met up with my friend and I met some of her friends. The next morning, she texted me, Mercer thought you were not so nice. And Phil thought you were nonverbal, speaking gibberish. Oopsie, whoopsie daisy, little old me, making a ruckus. I just said, oh, love your friends. Yeah, I don't entertain demons and I don't fawn at someone's every word. If you're not interesting, I'm not going to pretend that you are. I'm going to be me. And now I've been called many things, whether it's mean or nonverbal, but I've never been called boring. And I just feel like that's an accomplishment in itself. And I've always stated interesting people like interesting people. I'm interesting and I like interesting people. It is what it is. Love to all, harm to none. But I'm not going to act into something if I'm not. Why? Because we don't people please around here because we're tuned into the positive bitch frequency. And that means we're authentic. Why? Because authenticity is the highest vibration you can embody. When you are you, everything that's meant for you will find you. When you are you, everything that's under your divine right will align with you. But when you try to siphon your energy, pretend that you're only the good girl, oh, really? That's so interesting, and blah, 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 and act like a chicken without a head, you block off what is meant to be a part of your life. When we think we have to wear a mask or play a role of who we have to be in order to be digestible, we siphon our energy, we're not magnetic, and we actually repel people. If someone's shadow does not like my light, that's none of my business, but I owe it to myself to be me. And I've made a vow earlier this year to embody all of my energy, not just the good girl energy. And if you want to really magnetize and expand your aura, you want to get all that's yours and more, join the Shadow Alchemy course. If you want to learn how to turn your weakness into your strength, how to locate and expand on your hidden power, how to attract better people, have better experiences, you have to befriend your shadow because your shadow will teach you things your light could never. My darkness has taught me things that my light did not know existed. But it's up to you to become your own lighthouse, to locate your own blind spots. And the way you're going to do that is with the Shadow Alchemy course. I'm telling you, I've gotten the best feedback from the students in this course. Their lives have shifted for the better. They attract better partners. They feel more powerful. They are better at manifesting consciously what they actually want to experience in their life. I'm telling you right now, if you want a different reality, you cannot keep doing the same thing. Last episode was supposed to be all giggles, but I ended up crying. That's such a metaphor for my life. It's fine. It's fine. This episode, I want to keep it light, and we'll see if that happens because God uses me as his instrument. So whatever needs to be stated on this podcast will be stated, but we are going to do a Q&A. If you're not yet following me on Instagram, be sure to follow me at Vibin with CC. If you've not yet gotten your copy of Show Up As Her, you can get that in the link in the show notes. And of course, get your magnetizing mug. These things, the book, the courses, this mug, these are tools to help you magnetize your reality. Every everything is encoded with purpose and specific source codes so that you can pull towards you the experiences you wish to have. I use my magnetizing mug every single morning. I frequently go back to my book and re-listen on Audible. I even re-watch my own videos to help me step into the frequency I want to exist within. There will be many things that come your way in this 3D reality. Use the tools that are going to help you get to where you want to go. What's up, positive bitches? How are we doing today? If you're hearing this episode, then you were meant to be here, so keep listening. On That Bitch is Positive Podcast. Sometimes we will laugh, other times, baby, we're going to cry, but we will always walk away feeling our most empowered, positive bitch self. That stands for babe in true connection with herself, himself, human self. You know I don't care if you're a pickle. If you want to evolve, then keep listening. On this podcast, we unbecome who we are not so we can fully step into exactly who we came here to be. Now, let's get into the questions that you have sent in. I've not read them yet, so this is going to be off the cusp. What's it been like letting go of your 7-year ex? Did you guys do no contact or keep in touch? Honestly, at first, it was pretty difficult just because you have to get your brain on board with your breakup. When you break up with someone, it doesn't mean that your brain is going to stop looking for that kiss or that hug or that text. Your brain is still going to try to find the dopamine that that person used to give to you. When I went through this breakup, I went to Florida for about a month to practice selective solitude. I knew I needed to get away from all the people around me and all the voices and the opinions because my ex was a quote unquote good guy. And everyone told me that, oh, he's such a good guy. You've been dating him for 7 years. And we had picked out an engagement ring. We were looking at houses, but I just knew in my gut, this is not right for me. And I'm getting goosebumps right now because it was very surreal. Whoa, my life is about to go in this really serious direction. I could potentially commit my life to this person, but yet that doesn't feel right within my body. And I know a lot of people who just get married to get married. I know a lot of people who just settle because they've been in a relationship for a really long time. And that just can't be me. If I'm going to engage in partnership, if I'm going to get engaged, if I'm going to commit to someone, it has to be a full body yes. It has to be your not only the love of my life, and we're not just looking at each other, but we're looking in the same direction, wanting to evolve in a similar format. And I just did not have that in that past relationship. While it was painful to break up with who I perceived as my best friend at that point, who I talked to on a daily basis, that pain was less than committing to something I knew was just wrong. So you have to ask yourself, what pain do I want to encounter? Temporary pain of breaking up with someone who I do have love for in service of living authentically? Or do I want to have permanent pain of committing to someone who I know in my bones, in my gut, is not for me? I chose my pain and I went through it, but it was temporary. I moved past it and now I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm less bloated. My skin is better. I just feel better all around. I feel better in my body. Just everything is better because fortune favors the bold, and you have this one life as this current version of you. You have to be committed to yourself and choose you. The same person said, how did you finally break things off for good with your 7-year ex? I'm struggling. I understand that it's difficult. Like I said, changed locations because I needed to be in different energy, and that really helped me. I know that's not accessible to everyone, but if it is, I highly recommend doing that. You lean on the divine. Literally say, divine, give me the strength to do what I need to do. Give me the strength to live authentically. Give me the strength so that I can move forward instead of staying stagnant. You have to realize that the person who is going to give you everything you want and more realistically, it's going to be you. You will have helpers along the way. You will have generous people who gift you. But really, the person who's going to take you out of situations you don't belong in and place you into a position that you can actually succeed is you. So what's important to you? What do you value? If you value living happily and in alignment with your authenticity, then cut this person out. And I know it sounds really harsh, but this is how the world works. And sometimes the world is harsh. We went no contact, and I know that's super difficult, but it's the best thing you can do. We ended on fine terms. There was no yelling or screaming or fighting. We were not like that at all. It was more like, okay, this soul contract really feels like it's just over. I don't feel like this is right for us. And we went our separate ways. I think we both knew it was just time to end. And we decided to do no contact. That is the most helpful, because if you keep dipping your toe into that pool, eventually you're just going to fall in. You need to train your brain to get on board with your current reality. Stop flirting with your past and let it rest in peace, and make love to your present moment. What can you do to pull yourself out of this deep, dark hole? What can you start doing in your daily routine to make yourself feel happier, fitter, healthier, more in alignment with your truth? What's a hobby you've been wanting to try that you never had time to do, and now finally you do have the time to engage with? You have to romanticize your present moment. You need to take a vow of self-devotion where you're saying, you know what? If I want these flowers, I am going to buy them for myself. If I want this necklace, I just bought myself a yin yang necklace yesterday, I am going to get that necklace for myself. Not in a way where you're putting yourself into debt, because that's not self-devotion. That's dumb. We're not going to be dumb. We're going to respect ourselves to be financially secure, and we can gift ourselves along the way. I highly recommend, if you are going through a breakup, to join the 21-day Breakup Glow Up Challenge. I found breakups to be very difficult in my past, and I went to every therapist, Reiki healer, energy healer, sound bath class that you can go to, and I took everything I learned, also being a certified life and energy coach and Reiki practitioner myself, and I put it into this Breakup Glow Up Challenge. There are video lessons, audio lessons, worksheets, meditations, energy practices, all to help you unattach from that ex and refocus on you. I don't recommend, in order to get over someone, get under someone new. I say get into yourself, because that's truly what's going to heal you. That's what's going to shift your energy, your frequency. And you can find that link in the show notes. Next question. Why are men so mean and horrible? That's all I've been attracting, and of course reject. Okay, I'm not going to invalidate your experience. I do not doubt that you are experiencing mean and horrible men, but that's not all men. Just like not all women are gold diggers, and not all dogs are vicious. Some dogs are vicious, some women are gold diggers. We have to be really, really careful with umbrella statements, because no entire gender is one way. There are way too many nuances and energy forms that we are ignoring if we're going to umbrella statement an entire gender. If you keep experiencing the same type of pattern, the common denominator, and I'm going to hold your hand when I say this, girl, is you. It's you. And we all have patterns that we tend to attract, because our type is really just our trauma. We attract the same dynamic we had with the caregiver we craved love from the most. And why do we do this? Well, it's a repetition, compulsion. We have this compulsion to try to redo that dynamic in hopes we can get it right as an adult, but we don't get it right. We just re-traumatize ourselves over and over again. You are being invited through this pattern repetition to say, okay, I've had enough. I experienced enough pain attracting the same type of person. I don't want to do this anymore. So the divine is asking you, what do you want? Do you want to attract better? Okay, then you need to have better thought forms, better belief systems. You have to start to take care of that inner child. I would highly recommend joining my Pedestal Path course. You can listen to as many podcast episodes as you want, but if you actually want to change, you have to invest in yourself. You can either book a one-on-one session with me or get one of my courses or read my book, but you have to do the work. I did not get here by listening to only podcasts. I got here by doing courses course after course after course, spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on energy sessions, becoming a Reiki practitioner, life and energy coach, by having my own mentors. You have to do the work, but you will get the results. Also, be careful about who you're listening to online, because whatever you listen to repeatedly and consistently will start to build your belief system. If you're listening to these TikToks and these people that have really negative beliefs about men, they are then going to encode your reality. You better be careful. You have to guard your mind, because your mind is not money maker. It's your reality maker. You have to start plugging into the belief that, wait a minute, I'm not going to get furious. I'm going to get curious. Is it possible that there's actually good men out there? Think about it. Do you have an uncle, a cousin, a brother, a dad, even a person that is in the public sphere that you're like, they're a really good husband? Look around for what it is you want to experience. Is there any man on planet Earth that you think is a good man? Okay, well then your belief system that all men are horrible is automatically canceled out. Play with the energetic universe. Tell the universe, send me a good man. Show me I'm wrong. Show me what it is to be treated with respect. Show me what it is to be in a divine union. Show me how much love and care and tenderness I truly deserve. So you're going to stop listening to the wrong people. You're going to join the Pedestal Path course. You're going to start testing the electromagnetic field. Show me what it is to be in a healthy, loving relationship. You're going to become curious instead of furious. What if I'm wrong? What if I don't know everything? And then you're going to stop with the umbrella statements. Because when you umbrella statement your way through life, it's limiting what you can experience. Do you want to be your own op? I don't think so. That sounds crazy. That does not sound fun. That sounds like a waste of your time. I have an episode called Men Are Not Our Enemy, They Are Our Mirror. And I really recommend that you listen to that episode, because you have to start to realize that the men you're attracting are showing you where you may still be hurting. They're showing you where your shadows are lying. They're showing you what you've not healed in yourself. If you do not have high self-esteem, you're going to allow negative treatment. And whatever you allow, you amplify. If you do not invite yourself to uphold the Harvard standard, which is a high standard, I'm not going to allow just anyone to come into my reality, and a low acceptance rate, then you will get better treatment. I always say boundaries and having a high standard is not out of fear. It's out of self-devotion. I treat myself well, and I'm not going to open myself up to low quality experiences. Why would I do that? Why would I allow just anyone and everyone into my reality? No thanks. I have a finite amount of time and energy. I'm not just going to give that to anybody. No, you have to meet me where I'm at or be better. And if you're not, I don't have time for it. I wasn't always like this though. When I had lower self-esteem, low confidence, I would be willing to accept breadcrumbs. Now, if there's not a feast for me, I'm not sitting at that table. I'll just build my own table and be over there. Why? Because I'm okay being alone. I actually like myself because I built myself. I'm okay being in my own energy because I have learned how to cultivate a person I actually enjoy embodying. So, what do we have to do? Maybe we need to date ourselves. Maybe we need to take some time away from dating other people and start learning, where am I still hurting? What beliefs do I have about men? What beliefs do I have about myself? If you don't think you're worthy of more, you can be sure you're not going to attract great relationships. If you don't think you're worthy of a protector and a provider, then you're not going to attract a protector and a provider. If you think that all men are horrible, you will surely see that in your reality. This is your invitation to take a beat from dating and work on yourself. I've had to do this so many times. I would work on myself, go out, date, see what my 3D experience was going to reflect back to me, and then go back to the drawing board if I had to go do more work. And that is how I would work with my reality. Use your reality to show you where you're at. It is your mirror. And if you don't like what you're receiving, go back. Do the shadow work. Learn how to alchemize. I would recommend the Pedestal Path, as I said, or the Shadow Alchemy. It's really going to help you transcend these lower vibrational energies. But like I said, I can talk all day. If you don't do the activations, if you don't do the meditations, if you don't shift your energy, then you're not actually going to shift what you receive. I'm seeing a couple on how do I survive in toxic work environments or how to change it for the better. I'll give you 2 tips. If you feel like people are sending you negative energy, just use a source code. Any energy sent my way is transmuted into abundance, is transmuted into health, is transmuted into wealth, beauty. Any energy sent my way is transmuted into whatever you want to manifest into your reality. Because at the end of the day, whether it's positive energy being sent your way or negative energy, energy is energy and you can use it however you want. Instead of allowing that energy to dictate your mood, use it to manifest. And now you're just using these people at your work who are hating on you to actually help you manifest your dream house, your dream relationship. It's a really amazing source code. The other thing is, I really recommend to take accountability over your reality. So sometimes we are thinking these people need to change. There's something wrong with them. And maybe that's true, but what's in your control? You can't change them. You can change your perception of them. You have to remember that if someone's hating on you for no reason, they are just a child in an adult body that did not get enough love, hugs, or attention as a child. And now they still are having a temper tantrum. They're just 30. A lot of people that you encounter, yeah, they look like adults, but they have not psychologically aged and they are living through their wounds instead of living in reality. So if you know you can't change them, you can change your perception of them, which will actually change how you interact with them. And what I mean by this, I had someone who was really difficult for me in my bloodline. And instead of looking at them as an annoying loser, I started to look at them as a child in an adult's body who just didn't get what they needed as a youngin'. And instead of me hating on them, I actually started to feel for them, feel bad for them, have compassion for them. And when I would see them, I wasn't automatically already ticked off by them. I actually was coming from a more neutral standpoint. And because I was, the way they interacted with my energy got better. So sometimes we don't realize it, but we're already annoyed from yesterday and we bring that annoyed energy into today and it actually sparks even more of a toxic environment. It takes 2 to tango. They might be just catty. They might just be mean. But can you remember that it's because they didn't get what they needed as a child and actually that sucks and I feel bad for them? I could never be that way, but thank God I could never be that way. Thank you, God. Wow, my life was better than theirs. Let me have compassion. Now I don't have all this negative energy I'm sending towards them, and it actually helps cleanse the cord. You also have to ask yourself, do you want to stay in that environment? Maybe if it's so toxic, you're being invited to try something else, to move into a different career path or a different company. Sit on it, meditate on it. Someone asked, how can you hear clearly from God or your spirit guides? Prayer is when you're talking to God and meditation is when you're listening to God. You have to give yourself space and time to actually hear what your soul's inviting you to do in the season. Journaling is a great way to get answers as well. When you're journaling, your mind makes like 10,000 more connections than it would just thinking about something because you're getting it onto paper and your mind has more time to connect certain dots, whether they are subconscious or conscious. This is an interesting question. How to date men when you're simultaneously trying to decenter men. If a man is forcing you to center him, he's not your man. The divine masculine is the giver. The divine masculine is the energy that creates a safe space. The divine feminine is the receiver. She's the energy that flows through the safe space. That's why they say a woman makes a house a home. She is what makes the masculine energy feel alive. She is what really gives the masculine energy the drive, the energy to go out and be that hunter. I would say stick to non-negotiables. And I do want to read from my book, Show Up As Her, what non-negotiables actually are. If you have my book, Show Up As Her, flip to page 142. Have non-negotiables. This is all about taking your power back from other people. Non-negotiables are self-boundaries that help you stay on your own pedestal. Non-negotiables may include hobbies, activities, rituals, and or practices that are important to you and allow you to feel your best. Regardless of who comes in or out of your life, your non-negotiables stay. When I wrote this, I was in a relationship. Now that I'm in a relationship, I have the same non-negotiables I had when I was single. Whether or not Mr. Boyfriend is here, I work out 6 days a week, record a podcast weekly, upload a daily TikTok, go to yoga, meditate, eat what is high vibe for me, and wear what makes me feel comfortable. Having non-negotiables not only helps me be my best me and feel good, but it also allows me to stay focused on me rather than obsessing about what he's doing. I can't worry about what Mr. Boyfriend is doing while I'm trying to hold the boat pose. This helped me place myself back on my pedestal and see my life from my own point of view rather than through his gaze. If you don't have any non-negotiables, date yourself to start finding out more about yourself, what you like, what you don't like, what you value, and what you believe in, and what your passions are. Positive bitch tip. Discovering and building yourself up is the best work of art you will ever create. Another way to really prioritize yourself while also dating is to stop ghosting your own needs. There's a difference between being needy and expressing your needs. Expressing your own needs places you on your pedestal and communicates to your subconscious mind as well as the universe that you know your worth. There is nothing wrong with expressing your needs. In fact, it must be done if you want a healthy relationship. Newsflash, no one can read your mind. Sometimes I can read people's minds, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Being needy is when you place the other on the pedestal and derive all of your happiness, excitement, and love from them. When we are needy of them, we often will ghost ourselves thinking it's a way to ensure to get them. However, this gets us the opposite of what we want. If you can ghost your own self, why wouldn't someone else? When you ghost your own needs, beliefs, morals, and values, it will be easy for that other person to ghost you too. People will continue to mirror this behavior until you show up differently. Positive bitch tip. How we treat ourselves mentally, physically, and energetically will teach other people how to treat us too. If they see you do not value yourself, they will not value you either. Remember, the men that you are dating are not your enemy. They are your mirror, okay? They're going to show you how you're treating yourself. They're going to show you how you're ghosting yourself. If you value you, they're going to value you. If you are feeding yourself your energy, they're going to feed you energy. But if you're ghosting yourself, disrespecting yourself, they're going to do the same. In this energetic universe, there is polarity, there is duality. So even when you are treating yourself the best, some people might trickle in to test you, to upgrade you as a catalyst for whatever your soul contract with them may be. And that's all fine and dandy. We did a episode and it's called The Truth About Soulmates, the ones who left and the ones yet to come. And that talks about all the different types of soulmates you might come into contact with. But understand that your primary attraction mechanism for intimate relationships is how you're treating yourself in your relationship to yourself. Another thing that I wrote about in this book on page 141 is stop overfeeding them. Allowing people to not treat you with the utmost respect and love is a symptom of you placing them on your pedestal. What would help is putting them on an energetic diet. This means no more sending them endless amounts of your energy for nothing in return because you are not a bowling ball. If you have been overfeeding them with your energy, you're simultaneously starving yourself. Shift your focus and your energy will follow. When we are chasing them, it's because we are chasing a feeling. There are 2 questions that will help you shift your focus and get the feeling you want. What do you feel when they are around you? And how can you find this feeling outside of them and give it to yourself? There are more ways to feel loved, appreciated, and seen. It does not only have to come from a romantic partner. If you are chasing relationships, you're chasing a feeling. What is that feeling? You need to understand what that feeling is, and then you have to learn a new vehicle to give it to yourself. If relationships make you feel adventurous, go book a trip with yourself. Go to a new spa. Go to a new city. Try a new restaurant. If relationships make you feel loved, how can you get yourself either a gift or give yourself a really nourishing meal? How can you make yourself feel loved? I love love. I love dating. I love meeting new people. I find it really fun. Of course, sometimes it can be tiring, but it is fun. The reason I find it fun, though, is because I never stop dating myself. I don't care if I'm dating 7,000 million people. I'm still going to be going to yoga. I'm still going to be eating nourishing meals. I'm still going to be seeing my girlfriends. I'm still going to be going to the beach. I'm still going to be doing my workouts. I'm still going to be dating me. I still have time to read, listen to my affirmations. Cece never is not in the picture just because she's dating someone. My first soulmate is myself. My first love is myself. The most important person in my life is me, because when I don't take care of me, I am a huge, not the right type of bitch to everyone else. It's just the truth. When I am not okay, nothing's okay. I know that I'm the foundation for everything else in my reality. And this is just the truth. Everyone who wants to pretend to be a good girl and a martyr can continue to hate their life because they simply do. They're not actually happy. They're just trying to hold it together. I really believe that there is this whole old paradigm that you have to abandon yourself in order to be in relationship to other. And I just don't subscribe to that. I love love. I love relationships. I want divine union for all of us. But you don't have to abandon yourself in order to have love and a relationship. In fact, when the divine feminine places herself on the pedestal, nurtures herself, gives to herself, she can overflow into her masculine and she can really give him everything and more. When she takes care of herself and allows herself to receive, that's another thing. You want to decenter men, allow them to give to you. Recognize that that's actually natural. And I don't know what has been normalized, but receiving is natural. I was on a date with someone weeks ago and they brought me a little medal because they collect medals and it had an ancient Egyptian goddess on it. And I just loved that because that was the exact perfect energetic dynamic. The masculine is meant to give to the feminine. That is how it is. And when the masculine does that, the feminine feels so fulfilled that she can then overflow her life force energy into him. And that is what actually allows him to birth so much. So relationship is beautiful and you don't have to abandon yourself to have a relationship. And if you have that feeling, it's because you might have codependency dysfunction. You might have sacral chakra dysfunction. And if you do, join the Pedestal Path because it will teach you how to be on your own pedestal while also dating. Can you talk about limerence or soul ties? Yes. So we've talked about this a lot before. I highly recommend going to some of the past podcasts that we've done. I've done recently on energy harvesters, distortion and divine union, also unconscious attraction, and that talks a lot about soul ties. But to get a little bit more into limerence, limerence is when you start to romanticize someone without even knowing them. And anytime I have a crush, I just remind myself a crush is just a lack of information. I don't actually know this person. And I feel like my last relationship, it went so fast. On the second date, he told me he was in love with me. On like the fourth date, he gave me keys to his house. And he would have married me because he told me he wanted to. And I know he did. And I really loved him to the capacity at which he could handle and that I could give at that time. But when I look back, I don't want a fast love anymore. And I think that's a testament to how I have evolved as a human being. I used to love that excitement and that, oh my God, this is so new and I want to feel all the feels and I want this to go fast and I would get married in 7 days. And now I'm like, no, because you can't actually know someone in 7 days. And I know people meet and get married very quickly and it works for some people. That's fine. That's not what I want because I really prioritize depth. And I was reading a book last night and it's a difficult book. It's called The Psychological Commentaries. And this man talked about the hydrogen atom for like, I don't even know, like 30 pages. And I actually felt this feeling of delayed gratification, this feeling of this is actually difficult and I can't wait to dig my teeth into this and take my time with this, just because we live in such a fast culture now between hookup culture and, 30-second videos, TikTok, and all these social media platforms. Everything is so quick and instant. It actually felt so good to dive into a book and take my time and really tease every sentence and go further into it and think about things and unravel it and reflect on it. That is what actually gets me excited now. Like, that is, to me, so much more seductive, to actually get to take time to really dig my teeth into someone's energy and feel all of them, and then peel back a layer and get to see a little bit more, and then take a couple of weeks and peel back a layer and get to see a little bit more. This fast, oh my God, I'm obsessed with them, doesn't do it for me anymore. To me, it's boring because it's not even real. It takes someone about 3 months for their mask to fall and for their attachment system to get activated. So until 3 months, you really don't even know who that person is, to be honest. And it doesn't matter how energetically attuned you are. My intuition will tell me like this if I like someone or not, but I still want to get to know all the parts of them to confirm what it is I know and to see what the truth is, because the truth will always stand the test of time. If you're getting really romantically taken quickly, remind yourself a crush is a lack of information. You need more time. And that is actually a sign in itself that you don't have enough hobbies. You don't have enough going on in your life. And I always remind myself, even going back to the last question of decentering men, I love love and I love relationships, but nothing makes me as happy as being tuned into God and being on my mission and creating my platform and talking to you beautiful, positive bitches. Nothing makes me as happy as creating and transcending these ideas into not just ideas, but physical form. Nothing makes me as excited as taking ideas and concepts and transmuting them into physical form, whether it's a book or a workbook or a video or a TikTok. That really fuels me. If the only thing fueling you in your life is relationship, it's because you don't have enough going on in your own reality. And even if you just want to be a mom and just want to be a wife, you still need to have hobbies and activities and something that lights you up. You have to have something to center yourself. Soul ties are real. When you are intimate with another person, it is like gluing 2 pieces of paper together and then trying to rip them apart. Energetically, it gets messy. You take on some of their energy and they take on some of yours. If you don't know this person, you're taking on their demons for what? If you don't know what traumas they have, you're taking on their lower vibrations for what? If they think negatively of you, now you're taking on all of those negative thought forms about yourself. To me, no one is worth messing up my vibration, my frequency. No one is worth me delaying my blessings. I'm a sapiosexual. I'm very attracted to intelligence and a slow burn. So I don't get it. I don't get hookup culture. I never have. My mother did tell me if I was intimate at a young age, cauliflower would grow between my legs and I would die. So that did definitely put me on a path of more abstinence. But even as I grew up and I learned the truth about energy, I still was like, nah, that lady was kind of right though. Like, maybe you won't grow a physical cauliflower, but you will grow a psychological, spiritual cauliflower between your 2 ears, and it will cloud your pineal gland and your third eye. So yeah, in a way, she wasn't that far off. I don't want to give my time to just anyone, my body, my energy. So yeah, I don't believe in this hookup culture thing. I wouldn't give my keys to just anyone. I won't tell just anyone about my projects that I'm working on. Energy is real, and I know you can't see it, but yeah, you can feel it, okay? And no one is worth you being delayed or getting distracted. If someone is not adding something to your life, they're just a distraction. If they're not teaching you or helping you heal or showing you a better existence, what are they doing? Delaying you, distracting you? Why are they in your life? That shows me you have low self-esteem, and I'm just going to say that straightforwardly. Like, there's nothing else for me to say there. I know we all want love because we're social beings, and I know we're tribal beings, and I know we have that ancient part of us that wants to have that communion with another soul, you will have it. But pray for the strength to wait for the right person. Pray for the strength to be centered in yourself so you don't have to allow in low quality experiences with low quality people. We're all created with worth and value, but not everyone deserves your equal time and attention, especially when they're taking from you. I pray to God that you have enough stamina to wait for the right person who's going to give to you. I pray to God that you have enough strength within your vessel that you say no to less so you can accept more. I pray to God that you have enough will in your solar plexus to continue on so that you can actually get what's yours under your divine right instead of accepting what is not yours. Next question. Can you explain in very simple terms the concept of no separation in the divine mind? So there's a theory that states at one time everything was just this big mass. And then cue the Big Bang Theory. There's the belief system that everything then separated physically. Even though everything separated physically, because it started out as one, we are still spiritually and psychologically, energetically connected. That's why you can pick up on someone's thoughts or their energy the day before they call you, and then you say, oh my God, I was just thinking of you yesterday. It's because you picked up on their energy because we're all still connected. We see this a lot, even with manifestation. The reason you have a desire in your heart is because you're already connected to that manifestation. You just have to pull it towards you. That's why it's called law of attraction. We're already connected to it. All is one. I always think we are made up of the same ingredients. We just have a different recipe, and that's why we look different, but we're all one. Our 3D senses limit us to what we can understand about the true nature of reality. If we can't hear it or taste it or touch it, we don't think that it's real. So to our eyes, things look physical, they look solid, but really an atom is 99.9999999% energy. So nothing's solid, everything's actually energy. And even though we can't see the little cords that connect us all, it doesn't mean that they're not there, and it doesn't mean that it's not real. Next question. Do you ever think about going back to your twin flame? They are referring to my 7-year relationship, who I do believe was a twin flame dynamic. No, I don't want to ever go back to that. I'm so much happier now. And I hope and pray that he is as well, and I do believe he probably is. We served each other so well. We had so many amazing moments together. I really honor our time, but it's over. Close the book, move on. And I really believe if it was meant to be, it would have been. Period. But it's not, so it wasn't meant to be. I don't need to say why. I don't need to know everything when I have a known God. I don't need to connect every dot when I know, just based on my own emotions and intuition, that I wasn't happy in the relationship and I'm out of it and I feel happier now. My emotions are my navigators. They are my compass. This is where I'm meant to be. And I know so many people have trouble with this, where they think about going back to their ex. And, you know, there are different types of dynamics. Sometimes you do break up just to get back together and you needed that time and it was worth your while. But for me, that's not what I'm experiencing. New York is not for me, and that relationship's not for me. And I really trust myself that I made the right decision, and I trust God to put me where I need to be. And there's just no point. There is this Bible verse. I actually posted it in the TikTok yesterday, and it's coming to mind again. I want to say it here. It says, Proverbs 26:11, as a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. I already experienced that relationship. We broke up. We got back together. I don't need to go back to re-experience what I already know, which is that's not my divine partner for the rest of my life. That was a special connection. That was a catalyst. That was a great teacher, but it's not my forever, and that's okay. How do I prove to the universe that I won't go back to an old person or situation? Just don't go back. Hello. When they come back around, because hello, have you met you? They probably will. Show up as who you know yourself to be. Show up as your highest self. Show up as your most abundant self. And say no to less so you can receive more. To me, the energy of this question kind of sounds like, I don't know if you trust yourself to not go back. And I know it's scary, but pray for the strength to stay in your power, call your energy back. I lovingly and peacefully call all of my power back to me now from every person, place, and dimension, timeline. Sometimes we feel weak because we're not giving ourselves enough attention. We're not calling our power back. We're not standing on business. So maybe you have to feed yourself some energy and put other people on an energetic diet. But you have to trust yourself. You've gotten out of that situation. Do not go back to it. Even my most recent ex, he called me and texted me, and I usually answer everyone. I'm just not even answering. I'm so done. And I'm saying no to less so I can receive more. When I first broke up with him and then we started talking, we thought, let's see how it goes when I get back to New York. But then a couple of days later, the energy was off. So I said, you know what? Let's just be done. And he called and texted me while I was in Nashville. And usually I answer everyone, but you know what? I don't have to do that. And I'm not available to what I used to be available for because I'm not that same person. And the chaos I used to be okay with, I'm not okay with anymore. And the energies I used to allow around me, I'm not allowing around me anymore. And what I used to put up with, I'm not putting up with anymore. So that call, that text, you know what? If you really needed to say something to me, you would call and text again a million times. And maybe I still won't answer, but I just don't have time for it. I'm a very busy woman and I only have time for people who 100% can meet me in the reality I want to exist within without me dropping my standard. At a time, I was worried, well, if he came back around, what would I do? But when he actually did come back around, the energy felt so off that I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. So I just never answered, which is off brand for me, but I just don't have time for it anymore. And that's okay, because when you let go of one thing, you just make room for another. I love you so much. Thank you for spending this time with me. It was so enjoyable to answer your questions and spend time in your energy. If you like this episode, feel free to give it a thumbs up, to like, subscribe, to give it a positive review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Talk to me in the comments. I love to hear your feedback. And of course, don't forget to get your copy of Show Up As Her. The sparkle in me, as always, honors the sparkle in you. And I will see you in the next one. Mwah.